You want to talk about a show that set women back is The View. There are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
X.
Okay. Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
Why doesn't The View have any trans women on it?
Great point. It has a lot of women that look trans, but none of them.
With their trademark mix of sarcasm and ruthless honesty, Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon just gave a hilarious critique of The View that is as incisive as it is amusing. They weren't shy about criticizing the show's hosts for their exaggerated viewpoints and theatrical delivery. They made fun of the panel's tendency to offer national politics rather than daytime TV gossip, which led to a heated argument that made viewers laugh aloud. It was more than just a joke. If you ever felt that The View takes itself too seriously, it served as a reminder that not all loud opinions are worthy of being highlighted. Rogan and Dillon simply said what everyone else was thinking in a loud, unfiltered manner.
I suggest a thing for The View. This is a suggestion I have. Men.
No chance.
Just men on the show.
But women watch it. See, that's the thing. It's like, it's a lot of it is women that are home, right? During that time. It airs during the day.
What if we put the women in the audience and let the men discuss the issues? This is just an idea I have for ABC. Corporate.
Well, clearly.
Or have one woman serve everyone drinks and give her a quick opinion. Quick. In and out. Just
and
go like.
The guys go, ah.
Just go. She walks in. She goes, yeah, Israel seems like it's a go. Thanks. And then they keep going. I think that.
Here is the tale. If you thought The View was safe from this kind of comedic heat, think again. Rogan and Dillon turned the tables and made it clear that no topic, no host, and no opinion is off limits when these two are involved. The result is a hilarious, unfiltered roast session that's anything but measured. Rogan and Dillon, the comedic power duo we all didn't know we needed, decided to have a little fun at the expense of The View hosts. Now you'd think the ladies of the show, known for their frequently outgrabbed.
Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself, and Joy Behar starts panicking and going over her notes while Tulsi is refuting everything that she said.
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, like, again, these people have dementia. These are people who, like, should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read.
Consider a show that somehow makes it on the air every day, giving the same rehashed indignation, claked viewpoints, and an atmosphere that is intellectually equal to scuffing your fingernails against a blackboard. Imagine that he entered like a wrecking ball next to Joe Rogan, the bald, tattooed podcast king who spent years destroying the echo chamber of the mainstream media. These two are going to turn The View into an endless stream of jokes. Every word they say will make even the hosts reevaluate their life decisions. Tim Dillon is the comedian who could turn a trip to the grocery store into a comedy roast. It's a full-on comedic assault rather than merely a takedown.
If you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Host.
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said.
Let's examine why Rogan and Dillon even bother with The View, because in all honesty, the show is essentially the epitome of everything that is wrong with daytime TV. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. There isn't any exciting explosion, just a drawn-out mess of recycled opinions and forced outrage. Now imagine this Whoopi Goldberg, a former actress who is now a talk show host, attempting to debate Joe Rogan. The irony is too real. She has the political acumen of a fortune cookie, and Rogan has been destroying the mainstream media for years. Watching them battle is like watching a hamster attempt to keep up with a lion. Cute for 10 seconds, but ultimately sad.
Daytime TV was about, like, seasonal cupcake recipes.
Yeah.
Why are we doing the Holocaust at 11 a.m.? It's 11 in the morning. Why are we doing the Holocaust? Calm down. Daytime TV is for people that get into the day. We don't need to be doing genocide early. Like, relax.
I heard you put the call in to get Whoopi out of there.
I did. Because I want.
Joe Rogan enters the discussion. This isn't just any argument. You know that things are about to change. When Joe turns his attention to The View, you can bet it won't be a nice conversation because he is scared to destroy everything that stands in his way. He has spent years doing just that, dismantling the absurdity of Hollywood, the media, and popular culture while emerging stronger from each conflict. Political correctness and nuance are things that Joe does not practice. He doesn't just enter the meeting and wait for his turn to respectfully state his position. No, Joe storms in, topples symbolic furniture, and then calmly explains why The View is as helpful as a submarine's screen door. There is no denying its sharpness and bluntness. Then there is Tim, though. Dillon Tim is a one-man wrecking squad of sarcasm and absurdity, not just a sidekick. While Joe acts as a loud, sardonic voice of reason, Tim is the wrecking ball that smashes the foolishness totally, whereas Joe acts as a scalpel that slices through it. Together, they are a formidable comic force that doesn't hold back, doesn't use any filters, and completely upends the stale, formulaic plots of daytime television. Dillon is a man who pushes things so far that it feels like you enter a whole new realm of outrageousness. With Rogan and Dillon leading the charge, it's more than simply a disagreement. It's a complete breakdown of what the viewpoint represents.
Arguably, like, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immobile.
Right. Because their mom's taking their kids to school, and that's, yeah.
It's a very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideological.
When Tim Dillon reaches the stage, it's obvious that this is a full-fledged criticism. Now let's take a closer look at the women on The View who so proudly like to present themselves as the wise voices of daytime television. Whoopi Goldberg, who at this point could be the embodiment of I used to matter, but now I'm just here to talk about politics because that's what I do on TV, is the first one. On Roasting, he doesn't just point out hypocrisy, he turns it into the centerpiece of a stand-up comedy routine. For Tim, it's not just about the facts, it's about making you laugh while he makes the point. When you add Joe Rogan into the mix, it becomes a full-scale destruction of everything that The View stands for. Joy Behar, who feels like she was made especially to be the loud, opinionated person at every family get-together who just won't stop talking about politics, even though she's completely out of her depth and has no understanding of issues, is another example of someone who has essentially made a career out of being a former star and is now here to act like a political expert. Sarah Haynes, whose opinions seem to be floating somewhere in the sky without any real foundation or rationale behind them, and Meghan McCain, who frequently sounds like a loudhailer pushing every tired, outdated conservative talking point. Watching these 5 women dispute is like watching a group of people argue about which chip flavor is the most politically acceptable. No real substance, just a lot of noise. However, the viewpoint is more than just a joke. It's a reminder that occasionally it's necessary to laugh at the absurdity of the political discourse that the media presents. These follies are masterfully exposed by Rogan and Dillon, who transform them into something far more amusing and perceptive. They don't hold back from calling out The View's extreme lack of relevance, and they do it in a way that seems to invite readers to consider the condition of political discourse in general. It's evident from this roast that Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan have easily defeated the titans of daytime television. They possess the abilities, know-how, and snark to not only make fun of the ridiculousness of programs like The View, but also to force us all to reconsider the political discourse that we have been exposed to for years. Thus, we should give credit where credit is due. Not only did Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon discredit The View, but they also candidly and humorously point out his shortcomings. Since these guys are demonstrating that sometimes the best way to confront the ridiculousness of the media is with a good laugh and a lot of truth, perhaps it's time to step back and reevaluate your own viewpoint on what's going on in the world of daytime TV and beyond.